Okay, my question for you is name two countries that call themselves the staunchest supporter of Ukraine. You shall say US and UK. And now, what if I told you that these two nations are openly funding Russian war machinery in Ukraine? America's Biden administration and UK's Rishi Sunak government, the two biggest thugs, biggest hypocrites of the world, are sneakily importing Russian fuel from third nations. Hi and welcome, you're watching India's World. We discuss geopolitics here. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for more interesting videos. US lectures India when it imports oil from Russia. Europe lectures India when it imports oil from Russia. But US and Europe love India when it exports cheap refined Russian oil to Western nations. It is true that India has ramped up imports of Russian oil since the war in Ukraine broke out. From day one, India has opposed imposing sanctions on Russian energy. India's Foreign Minister S Jaishankar has also made it very clear, without mincing words, that India will continue to import oil from Russia to fulfill its own economic interests.
Now, in terms of our oil purchases, we don't send people out there saying go buy Russian oil. We send people out there saying go buy oil. Now, you buy the best oil you can in the market. So I don't think I would attach a political messaging to that. Countries in Europe and the West and the United States are so concerned. Why don't they allow Iranian oil to come into the market? Why don't they allow Venezuelan oil to come into the market? I mean, they've squeezed every other source of oil we have and then say, okay guys, you must not go into the market and get the best deal for your people. I don't think that's a very fair approach.
What a great takedown. Well, before the Russia-Ukraine war, it was very rare for Indian refiners to import oil shipments from Russia. Russian oil now accounts for 25% of the country's crude purchases. India's imports from Russia rose further in December last year, crossing 1 million barrels per day for the first time. But now, you will be surprised to note that US and UK have emerged as the biggest purchaser of refined oil from India. The US had been a big buyer of Russia's virgin gas oil or VGO. But as it cannot purchase VGO directly from Russia now, it is purchasing it from Reliance Energy and Nayara Energy in India, which prepare the VGO from Russian crude oil. The US is buying 200,000 barrels per day of finished products, primarily VGO, from Reliance. The same goes for UK, but first of all, this headline. India offers Russian oil a back door into Britain. It sounds like India is shoving Russian oil forcefully down UK's throat. The reality is that British energy buyers have stepped up imports from India's biggest refinery. British buyers themselves have replaced some imports directly from Russia with imports from Russian-fed refineries, indirectly supporting Russian oil flows. UK imported 29 shipments or 10 million barrels of diesel from India last year. You see, buying Russian oil is not a crime. Not at all. Countries, in fact, should prioritize their own economic interests above all. But US and UK, on one hand, are preaching the world about punishing Russia, are forcing EU not to buy gas from the Kremlin, and on the other hand, they themselves are buying Russian oil to support their own economies. They are simply fooling their own people and the world. It seems that even US and UK have realized that their economy won't get back on track without Russian energy.
India's World, telling the right side of the story.